Hey everybody, National Guard 5 here, and welcome to another, whoops, there's a blooper for you. Let's try that again, that was a pretty bad intro. Hey everybody, National Guard 5 here. I accidentally left the left YouTube in order to do this live stream, so if you didn't see it, you can get a little laugh at the beginning. I accidentally knocked over the camera. It happens, and today I'm going to be doing, oh, hey Anthony. Let people know I am doing a live stream, please. Can't exactly see the chat unless I put something up that can. There we go. Okay, so today I'm going to be taking a look at some Thomas and Friends stuff I have. If I could just find the right thing to hold my camera up, that'd be nice. Wow, a lot of people are showing up. That's good. More people, please. More people. I love it. I just need to find something that can hold up my freaking camera. Let's try this. Yeah, that works. Okay. Alright, so I'll do the rolling stock first, then the engines second. So, I am going to make up a freight train right now. Sorry, the camera's so close. If I push it a little, let me see if I can move it backwards a little bit. See if I can move it back to where it doesn't fall over. Come on, work with me. I said work with me. Don't fall. Don't be a drunk camera. Don't do this. Okay, it's not heavy enough. Oh wait, I think. Oh wait, no, wrong thing to grab. There we go. I have to bring in Santa Fe here. He's heavier, and okay, good. I can. There, I positioned it to where not only can I read the comments, but I have a good angle. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about the cars I'm gonna put, and some of the engines I have. All right, give me a second here. I feel a little like Sam's Trains, honestly, and if anyone's heard of that channel, that's awesome. All right, so sorry if you don't see anything. I'm just getting the train ready. There's 3 cars here that aren't Sodor related, but I don't really care. Alright, give me 1 second. Nope, don't want to spoil it just yet. And I think that, yep, that's all of them. Just move something out of the way. There we go. Toss that aside. Okay, let's get the rolling stock taken care of first. I'll start with freight cars. This is the biggest freight car I have to date. It is the Sodor Logging Company car. It's a really impressive flat car, I would say, with logs, of course. What's funny is that these things, they look like pretzel sticks. Honestly, they look like pretzel sticks. Hold on, let me just make sure it's not. Nope, I literally just bit it, and it's plastic. If it was, I bet you anything I could put pretzel rods on there, and no one would tell the difference. I saw your comment, Anthony. So yeah. Let's see. Next one is a Sodor Mining Car. This one is blue. Blue is a good color. So there's that one. And then these next 3 are actually British railway cars. One of them actually, this last one here is actually missing the buffer right where my finger is. Like where these little plates are that I'm pointing to is like, oops, I derailed it. Those, you can see the buffer there, but this car here that I'm grabbing actually doesn't have one buffer. It broke off. You got Tidmouth Milk, and that's actually making me thirsty. Then you got this big van. Some people say, I think there was a guy at my Model Railroad Club who thought that was like a baggage car or something. But he said the roof was too misshapen, and I think it just looked a little odd to him. Then we got the, if it'll come into focus here, we got a Sodor fruit and vegetable car. I have no idea why my camera isn't focusing, which is so stupid. I have no idea why. Give me a second here. Just turn up volume just in case. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now it's focused. Yay! So that is the Sodor fruit and vegetable car. Just move it forward a little more. Now you may think this is just your standard Northwestern, which is what the series is based on. You might think that's just, oh, your typical brake van. Well, it's a little hard to see, but when I move it there, Look who it is. If I move it, let me just pull him off real quick. It's this guy. The one that wants to cause a whole bunch of shit. He's like, I'll get on my level, bro. Anyway, that's the spiteful brake van, which I think is pretty awesome. I'm surprised. Real quick, I'm actually surprised that this guy finally got his own model, despite him being, you know, crushed to death like Sonic the Hedgehog in the brake van episode. This guy got completely #wrecked. Let me take off the freight cars now. The only one thing I would say is annoying about the Thomas and Friends model railroad stuff is how difficult it is sometimes to unhook the cars. Give me a second here, and then I'll roll in the engines I have to date, actually. I kind of wish that there was a custom model that the backman would come out to where if you pushed him hard enough, he would actually implode. That'd be kind of cool. If you could do that, that'd be awesome. But I don't know if they'll ever do that. I've seen like NASCAR do that with like those slot cars or whatever, to where if you crash, the car will actually fall apart or something. And right now, the only coaches in terms of rolling stock I have to date are these ones. Annie and Clarabelle, even though they're facing the wrong direction. But, yep, I have those two for rolling stock. And, okay, let me put the first engine you guys saw on the tracks. Now we're going to get into the engines. I might get a little more rolling stock. I have no idea. Okay, and I also oiled up the engines because they were acting a little funny. So here is the first one. A little trouble there. There she is. I know a certain Andrew, if he's watching, has a little bit of a heartthrob apparently for Emily, and Emily was the first Thomas and Friends model I got. I had to oil her up a little bit because she was acting a little funny on the track, but I also might need to clean the track itself. And I do plan on stenciling in the 12. I actually want to use a NASCAR styled number 12 for her, make her a little bit customized. It would combine my two favorite things, Thomas and Friends and NASCAR. Let me get her going here. Come on, you. The track's a little dirty, that's why she's bouncing around a little bit. And I just realized I didn't switch that switch. I am a little bit stupid. At least she didn't derail. Alright, let's go. Alright, there she goes. Let me take her off the track real quick. I probably just had to clean the track because she bounces around a lot on it. Here comes the next one. It is Tomax. I got this guy a little bit ago, so yeah. He too, I had to oil him up a little bit, and because of the way they're starting and stopping on the track, that probably just means that the track is very dirty. So I probably have to go through with some rubbing alcohol. And yeah, I can tell it's kind of dirty. Let's see, can I get him go? Whoop, he's going the wrong way. So I'll have him go get Annie and Clarabelle. Just turn him the other way. There he goes. I think he got him. Switch forward. Yep, he got him. Alright, I'll give him a lap. You might be able to see him in the background, but the reason why they're bumping around on the track, and it's not only DC, but at the same time, the track can get kind of dirty, and I noticed they were making some odd noises from the motor. So what I did is I oiled them up a little bit. I put a little bit of this. I used a little bit of 3-in-1 oil. So yeah, that's what I did to try to help out in that case. There goes Thomas again with Annie and Clarabelle. I just realized that Thomas is drifting a little bit. Oh dear. Let me back him up. Oh my god. This is something else. Look at this. I'll bring him in a little bit. He just uncoupled. He's basically, let me turn off the speed here too. Basically, what I didn't realize was he was going by like this because, well, he was originally like that. And then I look over and Thomas is like this on the track and he's still going. I'm like, oh my god. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is a little bit of a gloss on the wheels. Let me tap the camera again. See if that helps. There we go. Focus it back. You can see there's a little bit of excess oil right about where my finger is. So I'll probably just have to dry that out with like a paper towel or something like that. But yeah, that is Thomas. And yeah, it was making some... Oh, of course someone would say that. Thomas is held captive running a loop. Well, loops are the most generic oval, the oval is the most generic model layout to start with, okay? I don't have that much track, but anyway. Let me take off Thomas here. Yeah, take off Douchey McStar Billing Blue Cheese. There we go. And bring in the most recent. I wasn't expecting this until this Wednesday, actually, but he has arrived a little earlier than I expected, and he's going the wrong way. Here he comes. And it is James. I was expecting this guy to show up 2 days from now, but he has shown up today, and I am really happy to own him. But I do want to make a couple of observations on this guy. I don't know why James is causing the... Is he in focus? No, not yet. My camera's being a dick. I don't like that. Let me move my Santa Fe tender back a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Now I can talk a little bit about what I like and what I don't like about this particular model. Thomas and Emily, if I bring them back in a minute, Thomas and Emily are pretty much proportionate to the TV series type. James, on the other hand, does have a couple of issues. And yes, I work at McDonald's. Anywho, let me bring him back a little bit. Let's see. Come on, James. Nope, wrong way. Let's bring you back a little bit. And every time it goes out and moves, it puts the camera out of focus. It drives me nuts. Okay, there we go. So, let me just set it forward for the time being. So, the two glaring issues with James, there's a third one that I really don't mind. The wheels on James are not the right color. In the TV series, James is, his wheels are black. In this one, they're kind of black, but more or less they are gray. And, that's a little bit annoying. But the glaring issue is right here. In the TV series, and again, my camera keeps going in and out of focus. It's driving me freaking nuts. Right here, the paint is red, whereas in the TV series, it needs to be black. I don't know if I should go with a gloss black or a matte black to match with that. Someone let me know. And I will repaint this probably within the week or something, along with the wheels. The wheels aren't so much of a problem. I mean, while I'm riding it, I really couldn't tell if they were black or just very dark gray. But right here on my fingers, that's supposed to be black, not red. I don't know what they were thinking, and it looks like it's kind of peeling a little bit. I just noticed it looks a little funny in the bottom corner here. If I bring him in, you can see it looks like it's kind of peeling a little bit. And I just derailed him. It's a little hard to let's see, is he back on? No, not yet. Matte black, okay, thank you. Son of a bitch, this stupid camera, it's annoying when it keeps going in and out of focus. But anyway, yeah, it looks like it's actually kind of bent a little bit, but it's a minor issue. I could just repaint that. And, I'll get some blue tape to where I don't overlap the little gold piece right here or get on the white, running board or whatever. Another little issue that I have is, let's see if I undo James's tender. Now he's a tank engine. Simi or Ski and a couple other people, I think Sam Trains mentioned that there's no cab feature. I mean, you do have, if I turn him around, you can see like the cab outline and everything, which is nice. I like that. But because the motor is right about here, you can't have a cab. And I totally understand that. For me, I like it if it gets as close to the TV series as possible. And to me, James's face could be also a little bit better. Come on, camera focus. There we go. Almost. If James's face to me just looks a little off, but his proportions are about the same, which I totally like about the Backman James. So I will get him up and running here in a second, if he'll cooperate with me. Come on, James. Don't be a dick. And as a little side note, I am voicing him in Stories in the States, and I am giving him a Brooklyn or like a New York accent, kind of like a little homage to Miss Oliver and Blossom, because I think that's what he would say is the voice of James in his old channel. Now he goes by Thespio. Let's see. Let me get a couple other cars up. I'll just have him show. The thing I also noticed is James right now. I just did a lap before I did this live stream. He, fresh out of the box. Let me just give him a 3-car train for now. There we go. All right, James. I know it's freight cars, but be nice for the camera and pull them, please. Thank you. So far, so good. James is pulling it nicely. Dominic's not giving him any problems like he did last time. We all know what happened last time. I'm going to load up the entirety of the freight cars I have, too. I want to see how well James pulls. You can see him in the background there. Makes me think a lot of the classic series where you see a distant shot of these guys. I'm going to rearrange the cars to where it's more like Thomas and the trucks. So let me bring him around again. Alright, here he is again, and I'm going to rearrange the cars, so I'll stop him there. And right now, James is proving to be a really good puller. Thomas is a surprisingly good puller. I'd say the weakest of the bunch, despite her 4 driving wheels, is actually Emily. I know, call me nuts, but I did a pulling comparison, and by the way, I had to redo the track a little bit because it's slanted a little bit, so I had to use some stuff to kind of level it out. And even then, Emily was doing a really bad performance in terms of pulling power, and I'll show you in a minute once I get this train all situated. Just give me a second here. Let's put that one on another. Okay, there's that one. Perfect. Do that. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm almost done. And I'll show you what I mean by performance with these 3 engines. There is technically a 4th engine, but I need to get him couplers, and it's Union Pacific 7009. He's hiding in the scrapyard right now. Basically, he doesn't want to come out to work right now. He wants to just relax. And, okay, there's that. And we'll put Dominic on last. Hopefully, he won't tell the cars to hold back or anything like that. Otherwise, I'm going to call in Emily to sort him out, if you get my drift. Okay, so James, you got your train ready. He's eyeing the camera. He wants to look splendid as ever. All right, James, go ahead and get started for me. All right, great start, and off he goes. And yeah, I try to arrange the cars to like Thomas and the trucks. Obviously, I've done a little creative liberties for that. TWR Modeler, am I open to stories ideas? Of course I'm open to story ideas. Just make sure that they're I don't want them too illogical, I don't want it to go overboard or something. But anywho, there's James in the background. Reminds me a lot of when he was pulling that one line of cars, and Sir Topham Hatt was really happy with him. And he's doing a great job not only pulling the cars in general, but at slow speeds too. TWR Modeler, if you could share them, that'd be great, but if you have Discord, that'd be even better. Then I can bring you in. Let me show you, let's see how fast James can go. Show us what you got, James. You can, but don't post your email here. I don't want anyone's private information to be public. So I'll try to get in touch with you via Gmail, but let's see how good James goes. That's him on medium speed pulling that freight train very well. I know in England and Ireland, all that in Europe, you call it a goods train. I call it a freight train in the United States. It's the same difference. All right, James, one more time. Show us what you got. Open the throttle. Look at him go. Alright, James, we're going to have you stop. And he slides a little bit to a stop. Good job, James. And I'm going to park you in the siding for now, and I'm going to have to bring in the hands. This is, again, the one problem I don't like with the backwind stuff is it's really hard to uncouple without accidentally derailing something. What I'm going to show you guys now is performance. And right now, James, I'm not trying to boost his ego or anything. Oh boy, a YTP is short for. Go ahead, Anthony. You can. I'm not going to stop you. All right, but let's put James to the siding. He needs to take a quick break. He did a good job with those cars without fuss. Just switch the switch, and he'll go back to his former coaches, Andy and Clarabelle. One other little note I want to mention is the whistle's a little bit weirdly put on James. I'll stop him right here. He's about to reenact Toby's tightrope because I did this. You can see there's a big gap on the rails, but his whistle, it's supposed to be his whistle, but it's kind of molded funny on top of his cab there. But, you know, it's a minor knock. The main knock is that big red paint on the side of his smoke box, which actually should be black. Alright, I'm going to have to derail James intentionally because the moment I set the accelerator, which is off screen, the moment I move it, James would move. So let me move him back a little. He's not on the track now. So, let's see, my phone just vibrated. I don't know if you felt that. Okay. Just some notifications off screen. Alright, let's put Thomas back on, and despite his small size, you know, cue the little engines, you know, that bit. Alright, Thomas, show us what you got. And look at this. Thomas and James hang out with Rosie and Emily. That's a good idea. Now, this is full Thomas in the trucks, and I just realized I didn't set the switch again. I'm an idiot. And luckily, Thomas only had a minor derailment. Sorry about that, Thomas. Let's hook him back up, and let's get him rolling. I did oil him up a little bit because he was making some funny motor noises. I might need to oil the motor just a little bit, but look at this. Alright, Dominic, no tricks now. Don't do anything stupid. Otherwise, James or Emily's going to have to come in and give you the bump. And with the whole, I'm going to call it All at Sea, much like the episode itself, TWR. That's what I might name it. But, yeah, my phone just went off again. I'm getting so many notifications, I need to turn them off, actually. I need to turn off the vibrator. There we go, perfect. And there goes Thomas at a decent slow speed. Let me just fix these logs. There we go. And Thomas, despite his size, you know, cue the little engine song, is pulling them quite well. You know, with a little bit of wheel slip, but that's okay. Thomas is doing a damn good job. I will say there is one slight problem with Thomas, and I'll show it when he comes back around after he does a high-speed lap. So, yeah. Alright, Thomas, show us what you got. Let's see how fast you can go without hurting yourself. Go, Thomas, go! Go, Thomas, go! Hey, everybody. Glad you could make it. And Dominic is not causing any trouble, and with a little bit of wheel spin, Thomas is managing no problem. There he goes in the background. He's not going to crash this time because I'm in control. Alright, Thomas, we need you to stop. And he slides to a stop. So Thomas is, albeit with a little bit of wheel slip, and mind you, none of these guys have traction wheels or traction tires. So Thomas he's average when it comes to pulling. But now we're going to bring in Emily, and I think because of her pickups, she's a little more sensitive to dirty track. And from what I remember, Emily is like a big sister or kind of a motherly figure to some of the engines, including the two I have behind her, which are Thomas and James. Alright, here she goes. And you're going to notice she has some trouble when she first gets started. So I'm going to give her a nudge. Come on. Come on, Emily. Uh-oh. The wheels are locking up. Oh, there it goes. Give her a little more juice. There she goes. But as you can see, she is, for some reason, struggling. And I don't exactly know why. Give her a little more juice. But she has stopped. And I think I can understand the reason why. Let me back her up. Now, backing up, she has no trouble at all. Except when it comes to certain dirty parts of the track. She'll just stop abruptly. Again, she's new. She's a little bit used. But I think the main issue with Emily is it's her pickups. The moment there's some dirt on the track, and you know, if there's any dirt on the track, it's gonna cause trouble for her. And yeah. So let's try again. You're going forward. Got to give her plenty of juice first. If that doesn't work, I'll switch the caboose and Emily's position. And she's trying awfully hard off screen. And she's slipping, so let me bring her back a little bit. Yeah, when it comes to backing up, she is totally fine with it. But I think once she senses dirty track or something, she just stops. Now, what I'm going to do is switch where Dominic is with Emily and see if going the other direction will help her out. Again, it's not that she's a bad puller. I mean, she's considered one of the stronger engines. And just switch Dominic. Dominic's been causing some trouble with Emily for some reason. I don't know what's up with him. Maybe he just... I don't know. I don't want to be quick to judge about it. Alright. Let's try Emily going the opposite direction now. And if that doesn't work, then we'll get James or Thomas to... Probably James to help out Emily. Of course, James will have to be in front of her because James doesn't have a tension lock or a hook couple in the front. Alright, let's see if this works. Alright. Give her a little nudge. Yeah, she doesn't like dirty track at all. So far, so good. Going the other way. And that story, that's a good idea, TWR. And I think that big wheel is actually giving her trouble because I'm looking over there and she is struggling. So I'm going to have James come in, you know. Alright, James. Looks like you're going to have to help your big sister, Emily. Yeah, Thomas and James would be considered like Emily's little brothers. Alright, James, you ready to help out your big sister? I know you're not related in terms of configuration, but that's how it's viewed in the community, which is fine. Alright, James, go for it. Give her a push. There we go. No trouble from... We don't want any shit from Dominic today. Before Dominic is being pushed by one that he caused... You're going to see something interesting in a minute, folks. I know Thomas is blocking the way, but you can see in the background... Uh-oh. James is... Vengeance for James. Vengeance. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Guys, it happened. James got revenge. Alright, let me bring it around. Oh boy. James, I didn't expect you to be that angry, but look what happened, everybody. Well, he didn't crush him to death, but James apparently remembered, and, well, Dominic has been pushed off the tracks. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but, oh, come on, camera, focus. Bring it back a little bit. There we go. Yep, as you can see, James didn't want to put up with Dominic's crap anymore, so he didn't kill him. He didn't crush him to death, but he did shove him off the tracks a bit. But yeah, I did not expect that. Good. Dominic, I hope you learned something. If you didn't, then you're a dumbass. Alright, Dominic, let's get you on the track. James, go easy on Dominic. I know he just came back from the dead, but you don't have to shove him off the tracks. Alright. Now, the thing is with James, he doesn't have a tension lock couple, but the good thing is too, The tension lock couple on Dominic isn't anywhere near James's front wheel, so they won't like get caught up and then, shit happens, okay? Alright, but this is what I was talking about with Emily over here. I think if you give her a lighter load, she actually does a lot better. So she could probably pull those 3 gray cars plus this blue one right here, no problem. That, and again, even though I did try to even out the elevation, she still has trouble pulling because the high points are right about here and over there, depending on which way the train goes. All right, James, behave yourself. I know you're mad at Dominic, but don't screw up again. And to end this live stream, I'm gonna have all 3 of them going at a slow speed. There's 3751. He is helping out with holding my camera with his big fat tender. All right, James, easy does it. You don't want another repeat accident. And this is them going at slow speed. And I just remembered correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was the Great Race, that new special. James and Emily were both repainted to be like the best dressed engine or something. I could be wrong. I can't remember what it was, but as you can see here, Emily's she doesn't like dirty points and all that, so she's taking it easy. I'm probably going to fill up these cars with something, like that with sand, that with rock. I don't know about this one. Someone let me know what I should fill them up with, and please be a little appropriate. Uh-oh. James, what are you doing? Uh-oh. Well, James, you're not even pushing that hard, and you're already causing trouble. Poor Dominic. He's just like, what did I do to deserve this? You gave me trouble back in the 90s, dude. But I can see why their buffers got caught up. There we go. One thing I can also do with these guys is let me just move. Oh wait, Emily's having a little trouble up front. Let me just put the camera down again. Let's do that. Perfect. Let me back them up. Looks like Emily's having a little bit of trouble here. She's moving. She's still working, but I think one problem she's having is she's not very strong, and I think it's in part because of how heavy she is on the track. I might need to add some weights inside her chassis because she's not getting enough weight to give her enough friction to move back and forth. Like I said, she can do easy with light loads, but heavy loads, right now, she's not doing so hot. So I'm bringing James around a couple up in front. Easy does it, James. Be gentle with her. There you go, James. Push her back gently. You don't want to get the audience into an uproar because you're pushing too fast. Oop, they both stalled. I think it's just, again, it's dirty track. Let's get a little more juice. And there we go. Alright, I'll push them off to the side here. Alright, James, Emily, you wait there for me. And one thing I'm going to show off that's really fun to do with Thomas here is I have this old freight car here, but the problem is one of its wheels is starting to come apart, I think. And it's this guy here, and he is heavy. This is like an old heavy van or whatever. It still runs, but the problem is the moment it hits a curve, the wheel on the other side where my finger's pointing tends to not cooperate. But what's fun about it is it's actually a, let's see. Okay, I like that idea. I mentioned that to you earlier. So what I can do, it's not a tension lock coupling, but rather, if I push Thomas into view here, it's actually a hook and chain coupling. And the neat thing is Thomas doesn't have a front tension lock coupler. So if I switch direction and pull him back, you can see that he actually pulls on that van. I just moved him a little bit with my hand. And James and Emily is a cute couple. Well, I have seen that in fan fiction and all that, and I'm all for it. But let me just explain what's going on here with Thomas. Let's see, let me push him forward. So you can see that let me move him forward just a little more. Okay, perfect. Now watch this. I am not joking. This works. Thomas is rolling backwards, and look at that. You can see the hook and chain is actually taut, meaning he's pulling it backwards, which I love. That fake hook in front of him works. I love it. And from previous live streams, look in the background, folks, before James blocks it. Can you see a certain engine in the background? Let me just move Thomas forward again. Again, this particular van, I don't know who built it or when, but again, it doesn't use tension lock couplings. It uses a hook and chain coupling, which is really interesting. Let me turn Thomas around. I need to uncouple him from here. There we go. He does a little bow for us. That'd be interesting. And just as a little disclaimer, I don't mind that in the new CGI stuff, that engines can move like they would a person, you know? So, what I'm going to do... Okay, there we go. Perfect. Alright, Thomas, you got a little bit of a heavy van behind you. Ready to give it a shot? You're going the right way. Nope, he's going backwards. Alright, Thomas, go forward for me. And he's pulling it. It's only one van. I did have two vans plus like a Toad-esque brake van or whatever. But unfortunately, the brake van fell apart, which was no good. But yeah, that hook and chain coupling is working. And what I'm going to do to end this live stream here in a second, I'm going to be doing a triple header. But I'm going to bring the trains back, switch them backwards. There we go. And a little more juice. There we go. There go James and Emily with their freight train. Here comes Thomas with his van. I'm going to stop Thomas, take off the van. It's easy to take off. Thank goodness. Alright, Thomas, I'm going to need you to... Let's see, I'm going to move him forward this time around. Alright, James, easy does it. Wait, I just realized that Thomas and James don't have front tension lock couplings. It's going to make things a little bit tough, but that doesn't mean I can be creative with it. So I'm going to take Thomas off the track for the time being off screen. Going to move James and Emily forward. Come on, you two. Perfect, perfect. I can hear Emily is stalling a little bit. And James is going to have to do a little bit of the hard work. It does surprise me. So what I'm going to do is have Thomas actually go in backwards, like this, couple up, and hopefully Dominic doesn't get squished like he did with James. Alright, Thomas, give him the helping buffer, would you? There we go. Easy does it. Remember, Emily is delicate, but she is strong. And here we go. You can see in the background in a minute, there's James coming up behind the boxcar. There he is. They're going easy right now because they know Emily, she's new. So far, so good. Let's give him a little more juice. We can go a little faster, guys. There you go. There's Thomas. He's helping out in the back. Thankfully, Dominic can breathe a sigh of relief. Here they come again. There's Emily. There's James. There's the rest of the freight train. And there's Thomas with Dominic. Thomas is just making sure Dominic doesn't do anything stupid. Good on you, Thomas. You're keeping Dominic in check. You're not crushing him to death. There go James and Emily in the background. I think the pickups are a little bit better on James and Thomas than they are Emily, because James and Thomas are a little bit stronger with their performance. And I'm gonna speed them up just a little bit, give them a little more juice. Here we go. Show me what you got, guys. Beautiful, beautiful. They're not crunching the cars. They're not making Dominic scream in agony. I know I've been going on for 40 minutes, but I'm really happy you have all these engines, all these cars. I might get a little more in the future, but I don't know. Thomas is there to help out, make sure Dominic doesn't do anything stupid. Because we know what James did. But I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to end the live stream in a second. But yeah, my overall thoughts on... I'll make it quick. So Bachman James, great runner, great performer. Probably the strongest engine I have so far in the Bachman range. Again, it's just, it needs a little bit of repainting right here and on the wheels. And I can acknowledge the lack of a cab because of the motors being right here. That I totally understand. Bachman Emily, she is probably the best looking of the models. You know, yeah, she's a little bit plain, but that's totally fine. I don't mind in the slightest. I will say she is the weakest, but that's only because I think her pickups might be just a little bit sensitive, and she doesn't have a whole lot of weight to her. She's pretty light compared to James and Thomas. And if I can get some weights inside or like underneath where the wheels are, that's going to give her a little bit, you know, she's going to be a little bit heavier, and that way it can push a little bit harder down on the drive wheels, thus giving her a little more grip despite her not having traction wheels. Here come the cars. They all look good. And then Dominic here, you know, he looks great. I guess the fact, you know, Sir Topham Hatt, aka the Fat Controller, just like, you know what, Dominic, you're not dead. We're going to rebuild you. Just don't do any douchey things from here on out. And he's like, fine. And then we get Thomas here, who, he also looks really good for the Bachman range. Again, the only knock I would have is the face does look, again, if my camera, yeah, there we go. Thomas does look a little clown-like, but it's a slight thing compared to Bachman Percy. Bachman Percy looks pretty bad. Another thing that's weird about Bachman Percy, if and when I get him, he's missing the rear hook coupler, which doesn't make any sort of sense. The Bachman Percy to me just looks awful all around. And if I ever get Rosie, I'm not sure which one to get. I kind of like her with NWR 37 because she has a proper number, a proper paint scheme. She looks good all around. And yeah, I might get the NWR Rosie instead of the pink Rosie. Nothing against the pink Rosie. I just go better when there's a number. And like what I said earlier on in the live stream with Emily's Tender, if I can get a NASCAR stylized number 12 decal right here, I'll use it. That's what I plan on doing with Emily. And just like with the other Bachman models, they don't truly have cabs. I think the one that might have, the two engines that might have cabs are the Bachman Gordon and Spencer and maybe Edward. I think those are the ones that only have cabs. I could be wrong. But it's understandable because the motor takes up majority of the of this part right here. So it's understandable that they don't have a true cab. And one other thing I wanted to mention, I'm gonna put the camera back here, and I probably will add a number 12 to my Emily. It's just I want to make her my number 12 Emily a little bit unique by using the NASCAR, like Roger Penske Racing number 12 instead of just a plain number 12, you know? I like to be a little creative here and there. Let me just move these out of the way real quick. What I'm going to do is line them up, and I'll explain why I prefer Bachman Thomas & Friends models over their Hornby counterparts. Dominic, you keep the cars in order, please. Don't do anything stupid while I'm away. Okay, here we go. Let me get the engines in the right spot here. I know they're going to be sitting on wood, but here we go. Let me move it over right about. I don't own Bachman Henry, Gordon, or Edward as of yet. I'm just easing my way in. I don't want to buy a whole bunch of them at once. That's what I want to mention. All right, there's Bachman James. There's Bachman Thomas. Let me move it over just a little bit. There we go, perfect. Now, I won't be able to read comments at the moment, but anyway. Actually, if I move Santa Fe 3751, I'll be able to. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I might make it look a little more dynamic. By the way, here's Santa Fe 3751, Broadway Limited Paragon 3. I used to own a Paragon 2 before it ran into a whole bunch of mechanical and decoder problems. This is Paragon 3, probably one of the best I have in terms of the Broadway series. If you saw my previous live stream, you also noticed the 20th Century Limited. That was a blast to run after 3 months of not being able to run anything. But let me get into why I prefer Bachmann over Hornby. The one thing I want to mention is Bachmann, I mentioned it earlier, Bachmann always try to get it close to the TV series as possible, whereas Hornby would always try to get it closer to the actual engine. And Hornby they get so many things wrong in some aspects. If you want a detailed review of Bachmann versus Hornby, I recommend looking up the YouTuber Simi or Ski by looking up USA versus UK, because these are all the USA engines right here. And there we go. Make it look a little more like a family. James, move away a little bit. You're creeping out Emily. Let's see. Actually, she's a little lopsided. There we go. That looks about right. Big sister in between her little brothers. So, Bachmann. Okay, Shark Train. Okay. Also, TWR, put that in the regular comment section when this is over. So basically, these three here look pretty much like you would see in the TV series. You know, Thomas and James's faces are a little off, but I don't mind. Emily looks like Emily. She looks great. The Hornby engines, they look like shit. I'm not gonna lie. If you like Hornby, that's fine. I'm just saying as an opinion, the Hornby models look like crap, especially Hornby Emily. Hornby Emily just looked like a piece of nightmare fuel. Hornby James, yeah, he looked about right. I would say the face actually looks better on the Hornby one. But his wheels didn't look right. His tender was gargantuan. And, it's a little unfair because these guys don't have traction wheels, and the Hornby ones just decimate them in terms of pulling power. Hornby Thomas didn't look too bad, I won't lie. It's other models that just look wrong. Again, if you want my honest opinion, these three look spectacular. It is a bit of a disappointment that Thomas and James don't have front tension locks, whereas Emily does. But that's okay. I don't mind it that much. Also, I noticed that Emily doesn't have a lamp, but, it's a minor knock. Not everything can be perfect. But Bachmann, I think they do a better job at recreating the Thomas models because they're more dedicated to the TV series. Though I am a little surprised that they haven't gone they're not going the CGI format, which would be okay in my book. To see a little change in Thomas's face would be nice. But they all look great. Again, the Hornby ones, depending on which one, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're absolute shit, and then sometimes they're about on par with the Bachmann models. I would say one that is on par with the Bachmann, it's this guy. Bachmann Thomas and Hornby Thomas, they both look alright to Thomas from the TV series, but again, I would give a little bit of the nod to Bachmann, because mainly all the stuff here, like the whistle, the coal, the thing that makes Bachmann Thomas better than Hornby, it's right here, the back of Thomas. This looks like what you see on the Bachmann Thomas. And I've also liked this a little bit. I always thought the running plate, like the foot plate right here, for some reason, was attached to the wheel. I'm not joking. When you see conveyor belt pieces here, I was wondering how the hell did they do that? But yeah, Bachmann Thomas looks really nice. Bachmann James and Hornby James, they look okay in their things. It's just Bachmann James doesn't have a cab, so you can't put a crew on there, which I understand. But man, Bachmann Emily, I say Bachmann, you say Bachmann, I don't give a shit. Bachmann Emily, she looks phenomenal. She is probably one of the best looking Bachmann models, along with the Bachmann Edward. These two just look fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. These two, they're good looking, Thomas and James. But Emily, she almost gets the TV series Emily down to a T. I would say there's a couple things, like the cab, that are a little bit off, but she hits the mark beautifully. Again, her pulling power does hold her back a little bit, no pun intended. But her Hornby counterpart, yeah. Don't get me started on that. It looks like, ugh, it just looks so wrong in so many ways. I can't. I don't even want to get a Hornby model because it would just give me nightmares for weeks. But aside from all that, these three Bachmann models are great, and yeah, I wanted to show that off. I'm glad so many people joined in, and yeah, Dominic, I know you want a little bit of spotlight too, so fine, I'll mention you a little bit more. For those that are new to the Thomas series, this is Dominic. He is the spiteful brake fan from season 2, who, after giving trouble to this guy, and he's eyeing him like, "Don't you do anything," Douglas crushed him to death like Sonic the Hedgehog. And just as a little opinion, I'm thinking Dominic was in the works, about to be scrapped or whatever, and the Fat Controller was just like, "You know what, Dominic? You deserve a second chance. I'm putting it back on the tracks. Just don't do anything stupid." And he's like, "Fine." Now he just causes trouble, but it's not out of spite, it's just more out of his habit. He looks good. I would just say this little piece right here, the running board here, just looks a little weird. But he looks good overall. I don't know if we'll get Emily's coaches yet. I mean, I got Annie and Clarabelle over here, so yeah. I do have a couple of U.S. coaches here, but I tried pulling them once, and they did not work out well at all. But I've been going on for 50 minutes now, and I'm getting tired. So I am glad you guys stuck it out for this long. For those that joined in, I might do another live stream. Actually, you know what? Let's do one more engine that, oddly enough, can actually pull all this. Let me grab him. He is not a Thomas model per se. Let me just bring these cars back. You can see 7009, he's hiding in the scrapyard. He does run, but there's a couple things I need to get him fixed with. Alright, let's put the tank engine on the track here. And you're going to probably wonder who it is until I bring the camera down. There he is, right there. I might have showed him in a previous live stream. Let's see. Some people say it's Porter. Some people say it's Rosie. I say I don't care. I'm having trouble coupling him up. Okay, let's see if he can pull this. I think he's been able to before. I named him, because I know some people like to name their engines. Like, I named this one Diego because Santa Fe 3751 has gone to San Diego in the past. And in real life, he is almost done with his boiler inspection, so he'll be running probably in 2021, once this whole virus thing is over. As for this little guy, I decided to name him, let's see, I might name him Juan, or Joe, which would be for San Juan Capistrano. Let's see if Joe can pull this. Come on, Joe, wake up. There you go, Joe. Perfect. Oh. Well, it looks like he's still waking up. He left his cars behind. The problem is because I don't have a tension lock coupler on this guy. He's a Santa Fe switcher. It can be a little tough for him to pull that. Excuse me. Let me get Diego to help me out again. Come here, Diego. You're going to need to use your butt to hold the camera. Perfect, thank you. Let me just rearrange the cars a little bit. And I think this is the longest live stream I've ever done. Normally they only go between 30 to 40 minutes. But yeah, this is my longest live stream ever, and I'm tired. Alright, there's that. He's got one car ready. And let's put the milk wagon there. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so Joe here is ready to go. Let me just move Diego out of the way so I can grab the camera. Joe, you ready to go? I know you woke up and you accidentally left the train behind. You ready now? Alright, Joe, what you got, Joe? There you go, Joe. And one thing you're going to notice is no two cars on Joe's train are connected to each other. Like, even the vans that are on this train, I just noticed that the bigger van wasn't coupled to that mining car. Dominic, don't give him a hard time, okay? But yeah, Joe is a Santa Fe Porter tank. This could be the basis for Porter in the Thomas and Friends series. And I find it interesting that Porter sounds like he's from Boston. Put the cat in the pack. And I probably did a really botched Boston accent. Sorry for any of my Boston viewers. But it's the put the cat in the pack and that, something like that. I think that's South Boston. And again, I'm sorry. But here he comes. Here comes Joe. I think he's the basis for Porter and Thomas and Friends. But it's interesting because in the U.S. version, Porter sounds like he's from Boston, but in the UK version, he sounds like a gruff British guy. I don't know why. There's Dominic. Dominic, you behaving yourself? Being good with Joe? What I thought. Although he just looks like, he has that look of like, screw my life. Anyway, let me get Joe going a little faster here. And I'll end it to where he stops right here. Glad you guys stuck it out for this long. This is my longest live stream to date. And yeah, by the way, that right there I clean with. These are like, I know it says makeup remover, but I use it to clean the track. I'll probably get some rubbing alcohol to clean the tracks with. Alright, Joe, let me just stop. Perfect. Alright, Joe, thank you for your little cameo. And I'll catch you guys next time. Till then.